Hey girl, hey, it's Cindy girl. So we are going to talk about eyeshadow placement today, where to put your eyeshadow, how to actually put it on, and also talk about transition colors and what a primer is. And I'm also going to show you how I got this look today too. Alright y'all, so let's get into it. So first things first is you want to make sure that you actually use a primer. Your primer could either be, this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Defined in the color C13. That's actually my natural skin tone. And then on top of that, you're going to want to actually add a setting powder. Any setting powder will work. And then on top of the setting powder, I actually use the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to take the Makeup Revolution. I'm going to go ahead and start putting on the concealer. I like to keep my eyes closed for this portion, mainly because it actually goes on like a cream. And then it'll dry into a matte finish. And a lot of times I just kind of go all the way to the edge where I think I might actually put eyeshadow. And this is just going to kind of set the base, since I'm not really putting a halo color. It's actually going to be a little bit more natural. So I'm going to take this small shader brush and just gently pat it. I'm just patting it as quick as I can. It's gonna dry into a matte finish, almost like it's sticky like, and that's how you know it's dry. The next thing I'm gonna do is actually put a little bit of setting powder on it. Now for my oily girls, the setting powder is really gonna make sure that your eyelids are not oily. But for my dry girls, this is also going to lessen the intensity of the color of the eye. So just kind of gently pat it on. Alright, so for the setting powder, I'm going to actually use this big fluffy brush. Gently dust it away. That way so you can make sure that it's nice and set. And then we're going to move on to the paint pot. But just before we actually do the paint pot, we're going to just set a natural color, which is just my natural skin tone. And I'm going to use this pointed blending brush just to kind of get into my crease. And it'll also stay in the crease. And you want to do a nice sweeping motion. And you don't want to have too much control on the brush, because you kind of just want the brush to do what it needs to do. So now we're actually going to get into that paint pot. And the paint pot is what's going to allow us to create that cut crease, which is where the color kind of starts and the transition is in the background, but you can't really see it because it's natural. So you kind of want to take your time on this part. The main reason why you want to take your time on this part is because you just want to follow your crease, which is where the paint pot product is gonna go. And it's also gonna intensify your color. And for this, you want to make sure that your brush is nice and flat. That way, so that your paint pot color isn't all over the place. And this color should also be a little bit lighter. Another thing, since this is kind of a cream, you want to make sure that you actually set this as well. Because if it's not set or dry and it kind of gets all over your eye without you setting it, your eyeshadow is not going to sit right. It's actually going to kind of curl up and kind of look a little funny, like almost scaly like. And I kind of had to find that out the hard way. Alright, so now that it's dry, we're actually going to put tape along the edge of our eyebrow to our eye, mainly because I want to make sure that the eyeshadow has a nice clean line. That way, so that the eyeshadow isn't all over the place over here, and you have just that. So nice I actually got this trick from a fellow YouTuber, Miss Tiffany J. And this tip really, really works. It's awesome, you guys. Alright, so make sure that's nice and flat. And then that way when you take it off, you'll see like a nice straight line. Alright, so we are going to get into the makeup. So the first color that I actually start off with is my gold color, which is in my inner corner. This is the portion that's closest to the right here, this angle. Alright. Alright. So in order to apply the color, you want to use a pretty small but flat shader brush. The reason why is because you don't want your makeup all over the place. If it gets all over the place, even outside the crease, if you're going for that look, it's fine. But if you want a nice clean look, you want to make sure that it doesn't go all over the place. Alright. So we're just going to kind of gently dab into the eyeshadow itself. You also want to shake off any excess because you don't want any fallout. And I especially don't want any fallout because I actually have foundation on. So we're actually just going to kind of do one of these patting motions. For this part, you don't have to hold your brush back so far because you kind of want a little bit more control. And so I'm just going to kind of keep packing it on until the color just kind of starts to show up. And then we'll just move on to the next color. So the next color, we actually have the green. And you want to place the green right in the middle. You can either use all shimmery colors just to kind of, if it's more of a dramatic look, but it's actually better to use both matte and shimmer colors. The shimmer colors are always better in the inner corner of your eye. That way to bring attention if you're able to see your eyelid. And there's actually several different types. Right, so I'm almost done packing it on. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to the next color, which is this intensified blue. And so like I was saying, with applying eyeshadow, whenever you do like 3 eyeshadows like this look, you want to make sure that you have a light color, which is in your inner corner, a middle color, which is in between the light and the dark color, and that's where anyone who's looking at you is going to see that color actually first. And then you kind of want to make it into a gradient. And how you make it into a gradient is you kind of want to slightly blend it together. So this is actually an e.l.f. eye crease brush. So you can use it in the crease, but also you can use it as a blending brush just to get where you need to get in a small area. Because of course I don't want all the eyeshadows to go every which way if I use a big blending brush like this. I could, but it'll probably mess up my distinct lines that I actually put in time and effort into blending. Alright, so next we're actually going to go into the liquid eyeliner, similar to like this on the side. And I'm still going to keep the tape on on my face, mainly because it's going to kind of give me a guide of where to put the eyeliner and just to make sure that it's straight, since I'm not really good at it freehand. Alright, so here we're going to go in with the liquid eyeliner, and my tape is actually super cheap, so it keeps rippling up. But what I'm going to have to do is just hold it down and kind of look where I want to start. Make sure my hand is very steady. And you might want to take your time with this if you're not really that good. And it may actually look a little bit different than the other side. But what you want to do is you want to go from the back end and bring it all the way across. And it may take you a few tries. And don't worry about makeup being on the inside, because you're going to fill that in. Gonna slightly go over, and you're just making an outline, and then you go back through. And I have really curly eyelashes, so they're always in the way. And I can never get as close as I need to my lash line, but we're just gonna try and make this work. And try to make as much of a straight line as possible. Now you can either make this line thick or you can make it a little bit thin. The only reason why I'm making it a little bit thicker is because we're actually going to pop on a fake eyelash. And I'm just going to kind of do that really quick. Now y'all, I'm still learning how to put on fake eyelashes, and I'm using the Duo Lash Glue in the color dark. It's an adhesive, and it actually goes on as like dark blue. I don't really like it because I think it doesn't really last long, but I'm noticing that if I use the hair bonding glue, it actually rips my eyelashes out. So now we're just gonna kind of set the eyelash on there, and I'll also kind of do another video with putting on lashes, because I know I'm kind of going through this really quickly. Alright, so now we got the lash on, and then I'm also going to take this tape off, and voila. Yes, girl, we did it. So this actually looks super popping. I mean, with the 3 different colors, I kind of remind myself of like a mermaid. But I'm so excited. We did it. We learned for the first time how to put on eyeshadow, and we are gonna just continue to do this, and I'll see y'all next time.